Okay, hi, my name is Alex Abraham. I have been behind the scenes here for the last couple hours doing the tech stuff. But now just to fill a few minutes that we have between now and our final speaker, I can't believe we're already at the end. I'm going to read a book that I did not write. It's by a friend of mine. And I'm going to one more time just remind you that there's still time to donate. We're collecting money for the Middle East Children's Alliance, and that link is in the chat. So gonna read so fast probably, but this book is called Hope is an Arrow. It is the story of Lebanese American poet Khalil Gibran. And the author Cory McCarthy and I both share some Lebanese American ancestry going back to the turn of the 20th century, which is when Khalil Gibran came to the United States. And so my copy is very beautifully signed by Cory, and he mentions that in here for me, so that it's a very important story to me. Okay, so there was once a boy shot from there was once a boy shot from a bow like an arrow. Strong and straight, he flew across the world, connecting many people with the power of his words, but not right away. At first, he was Gibran Khalil Gibran, a small, shy boy who barely spoke and lived in a land of deep valleys, snowy mountains, and ancient trees. Khalil loved his country, Lebanon, even though its people were like two headwinds crashing together. Christians swept all their strength in one direction, while the Druze gusted in the other. Khalil's Maronite family was often in trouble, and he wished he knew what to do. He escaped into the woods. There, the silence of the great cedar trees inspired him as he stared up into the branches that had held strong against many winds over thousands of years. He felt a secret hope bloom inside. And this is a line from the prophet. Shall my heart become a tree heavy laden with fruit that I may gather and give unto them? Someday soon it would, but not yet. On one climb through the woods, he fell off a cliff like an arrow shot all wrong. He broke his shoulder, and his parents tied a wooden cross to his back to straighten his bones. Khalil healed in silence and stillness, thinking, praying, dreaming. When people came to his home, his mother would look at him kindly, hold a finger to her lips, and say to the visitor, hush, he is not here. Khalil listened to his people's great fear of one another turned into a terrible storm, and even his secret hope to spread love and understanding could not stop horrible things from happening. Soon the Gibran family lost their home and everything they owned, and Khalil's father was sent to jail. Khalil, his mother, and his three siblings could not stay in Lebanon anymore. They would take a ship to America. Khalil was afraid to leave his home and father, but he reached inside and held on to his secret hope. And this is another line from the prophet. The sea that calls all things unto her calls me, and I must embark. First, they crossed the Mediterranean Sea, the waves glowing with blue sunlight. Next, they sailed the deeper, darker Atlantic Ocean, which murmured like a giant in its sleep. Khalil's family arrived in Boston, a loud, crowded city where people spoke Arabic, English, and many more languages. Khalil attended the Quincy School. He was placed in a special class for immigrant children, and his teachers shortened and changed his name. Now, when he looked in the mirror, he saw two boys, Khalil Gibran, the Arab American, and Gibran Khalil Gibran, the Lebanese boy who missed his father and the snowy mountains of home. Another line from the prophet. Deep is your longing for the land of your memories. His family lived in a crowded place called the South End, where 100 immigrant children from all over the world often played in a single alley together like a flock of swooping birds. His mother saved enough money to open a family store by peddling goods, but her hard work was looked down upon by many people in America. Khalil saw that Boston was as divided as Lebanon, only here the wealthy clashed with the poor. Khalil watched his mother leave their house every day with a 50-pound bag of linens and lace on her back. He was proud of how hard she worked, but not proud of how people spit at his family's differences. He wished he knew what to do. And another line from Khalil. He only bent his head, and those who stood near saw his tears falling. Khalil knew deep down that his secret hope was the only way to best this great mean-spirited fear of difference, but he couldn't find the words in English or Arabic. So he began to draw. His teachers saw something special in his pictures right away, and they sent him to a museum where he met artists, including a photographer named Fred Hollanday, who took many photographs of Khalil and helped him develop his art. Khalil's drawings became stronger and more enchanting. At first, he gave them away to anyone who needed them. Then he sold his pictures to a publisher who printed some of them on the covers of books. Khalil felt like this might be his moment to share his secret hope. But his mother disagreed. She worried that too much success would change Khalil's young heart. Like a stable bow, she shot her arrow of a son back to Lebanon to study in the capital city, Beirut. Beirut was bold, one of the oldest cities in the world. Khalil studied hard and learned how to write in Arabic, but he felt that his classes were too religious and his spirit rebelled. Khalil wanted to believe in all religions and all people. He wrote, "Alone and without his nest shall the eagle fly across the sun." During the summers, he escaped to his old hometown in the mountains. There, beneath the great cedars that had held strong for thousands of years, he began to write. "We are the seeds of the tenacious plant, and it is our ripeness and our fullness of heart that we are given to the wind and are scattered." Khalil returned to Boston, ready to share his message. As soon as he arrived, he learned that his sister had passed away. His brother departed next, and then he lost his mother. They all died from different illnesses. Khalil's sadness was like a wall between two gardens, but he still wanted to honor his family's lives with his secret hope. He wrote, "Know that all the blessed dead are standing about you and watching." Khalil began to write and draw more than ever. He moved to the electric shining heart of America, New York City, and there his secret hope began to take a new shape. A strong, straight arrow, one that would not be turned away by any wind. He wrote poems to connect the people of Lebanon, and he wrote poems to help Americans come together in celebration of many differences. He wrote, "Work is love made visible." Khalil's secret hope became a book called The Prophet. In it, he wrote, "Let there be spaces in your togetherness, and let the winds of the heavens dance between you. Love one another, but make not a bond of love. Let it rather be a moving sea between the shores of your souls." Khalil Gibran became an arrow shot true, an arrow made from the strength of Lebanese cedars and feathered by the spirit of American independence. And right now, right as you read this, his words still fly across the world in more than 40 different languages and through many crashing winds to bring all who read them straight to the heart of hope. And that's the end. And at the back here, there's just some more information about Khalil Gibran and some photos. I love the photos. I'll try to show. Yeah, so if you're interested in learning a little bit more, there's all that back matter there. And yeah, I love that book so much. So thank you for letting me share it with you.
Yes, that was beautiful. Thank you so much, Alex. It's so nice to see you read and see your presence because you've been backstage
I've been invisible, yeah.
in the Wizard of Oz. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. And thank you, everyone. And one more time, I'll just plug it. Donate. I'll put the link in the chat one more time. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Maybe